Alrighty, boys. So UFC 6 beta dropped yesterday, and I'm pretty sure by now a lot of you guys have been able to get your hands on the game, which is what I was really hoping for. I think it's the best way to form, a proper opinion on whether you want to move forward with the product or you don't want to move forward with the product. I've got some time playing the game. I played for about 5 hours nonstop, got over like 60 matches. And I want to take a moment to talk about my experience playing the beta. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this down into two sections. I'm going to break this down into the negatives, which we'll cover first, and then we'll talk about the positives of the beta. And within those sections, I'm going to break it down into presentation as well as gameplay. So without wasting time, let's start things off with the negatives, all right? When you load into the game, the first thing you'll notice is that there is no practice mode and there is no fight now. So if you're someone that wants to take their time to learn some of these fighters, especially considering the fact that some of the strike inputs have actually changed, like the input of spinning strikes, some of the technique strikes like the overhand, the turning side kicks to the head, the side kicks to the body. A lot of that stuff has changed, and there's really no way for you to lab and practice that stuff besides either going online or having a friend that you invite and you lab the game with. So that is a negative in my opinion. I think even though the fact that this game is specific, the beta is specifically designed to test the online infrastructure, I still think they should have given us the option to play offline as well as the option to go into practice mode and take some time actually learning the game right now. So that is a disappointment that I have. In regards to presentation, and I have my notes right here, so if you see me looking, that's really what it is. Not just that, but Creative Fighter is also locked. I feel like in a game like this, especially for offline players, the ability to go in, especially those that really enjoy creating their own fighters, the fact that you're not able to test that out, I think it doesn't help players make an informed decision. Like, not everyone that buys this game is going to want to spend most of their time playing online. Some people want to play offline. They want to know how the game modes look. They want to know, has anything changed in regards to Creative Fighter? Not just that. I mean, with this new striking system that we got, the fact that we didn't get stand and bang mode to be able to just go in there and focus completely on striking as opposed to dealing with people trying to grapple. If you don't want to deal with that, I think that was an L. I would have loved if there was a stand and bang mode as well. And yes, I completely understand that would have split the player base, but this game has crossplay right now, and finding matches was not very difficult. So I think they should have definitely added stand and bang, some Creative Fighter, practice mode, fight now. And next up in regards to presentation is the fact that the base camera is quite low, and a lot of players don't realize that you can change it. I don't know why. You've always been able to change the camera angle in the game. So if you're playing right now and you don't like the super low angle camera where it's almost like you're looking up at the fighters, you can absolutely change that. Go into your settings and you can change that to either wide, or you can, if you like playing the tight camera angle, I don't know why, but that's something that you can absolutely change. So that's really it in regards to presentation and packaging in terms of what was disappointing to me. Let's move on to gameplay right now, which I know is the main thing that people really care about. Like, gameplay is the main thing. So in regards to gameplay, you will notice that the grappling system is pretty much the same. And, when they first showed us the game, it was something that they were like really upfront about, like right off the bat. Like, look, you guys are going to be very annoyed at this. We barely changed the grappling. They gave us a bunch of reasons why they didn't. It's not my place to start talking about all those reasons. A lot of them to me were just like, whatever. I wish they would have changed the grappling. You guys already know me as someone who's a big fan of jiu-jitsu. I am tired of this game's grappling system. It's been the same core grappling system since UFC 2. And I would have really, really loved if it changed fundamentally. Even if some of the animations and stuff didn't change, it plays the same. The moment the fight hits the ground, it becomes this slow, sluggish, I deny you, you fake, then I pity-pat punch to build grapple advantage, and then I try to deny. It's just so tiresome. Like, oh my god, not just that, the clinch is exactly the same. They added an over-under instant position, and they also added some ground positions in there, but it's not going to be anywhere near enough for you to get into grappling and feel, oh my God, I'm playing a brand new game here. No, the grappling system is pretty much the same. And if you are someone, all right, if you're someone that grappling is a big selling point for you for these games, like if one of the main reasons you want to play is for the grappling system, then I would suggest you skip UFC 6. Don't buy UFC 6. Definitely don't pre-order UFC 6 because you're not going to be happy with what they've done or not done with the grappling. If you enjoy the grappling in UFC 5, though, and you're the kind of person that really loved it, then okay, you have the same exact grappling system and you can enjoy. But I think a lot of people are going to go into it quite disappointed. So I just want to make sure you guys know that going in. The UFC 6 grappling system is very, very identical to UFC 5's grappling system. Next up is when you first get into the game, it's going to feel a little bit clunky. I really don't know why that is. Like, I've tried to place a finger on it. I was kind of saying, oh, maybe it's just because of latency, because I remember playing the game in Canada and it didn't feel that way. But then again, I was playing on a PlayStation system that wasn't online. You know what I mean? When you go online, there's latency and all this stuff. So I was thinking maybe that's what it is, but I'm not quite sure why. When you first pick it up, it feels clunky. It kind of almost reminds you of, I don't know, like UFC 2009, UFC 2, UFC 2010, in regards to. And a big reason for that is, you know, because they've cut a lot of frames. Like, frames is actually what makes an animation feel smooth, as opposed to feeling like you're going from point A to point B really, really quickly, right? Like, when the human body moves, there's a lot of minute movement in there that makes our eyes perceive that movement as fluid. And what typically happens is when you leave the motion capture exactly as you captured it, it typically leads to the game feeling sluggish, maybe feeling like there's input lag. But then when you remove a lot of those unnecessary frames, when you cut a lot of those frames, like UFC 6 developers have done, you end up with a game that kind of feels stiff and a little bit clunky at times. It doesn't have that smooth movement you would expect to see from like the human body. That said, this is something that you get used to very quickly. I mean, I got used to it immediately. It didn't really, I noticed it initially, and then as soon as I started playing, it kind of just went away. So expect as you pick it up, it is going to feel that way. It does not, in my opinion, affect gameplay. I don't think it makes gameplay worse. Just as it's something that I'm already used to, that kind of feel. And I like the positives. Like the positives being the game feels smoother, it's more snappy, it's more responsive, there's not a lot of wasted movement. It just overall feels better because of those cut frames that they've done. So that's pretty much it. One more thing I'll talk about in regards to gameplay negatives is flow state. Flow state is something that a lot of you guys are going to have to get used to. The first time you experience it, it is going to look very overpowered to you. Because, like, when it happens, it's like, oh, shit, what's going on? And then you get hit, especially if, like, someone's using Alex Pereira, who's one of the fighters in the beta. The first time you experience that flow state, it's going to be like, oh, my goodness, like, it seems overpowered. But honestly, most times I played, players are just getting themselves knocked unconscious. The moment they get into flow state, they get this wave of aggression and confidence that makes them feel like they're now indestructible, and that is not the case. You will get knocked out very fast in flow state if you don't pick your shots. So that's it for the negatives in regards to gameplay and presentation. Now let's talk about positives, and I'm going to start off with presentation. When you get into the game, you realize that there's a brand new UI. It is beautiful and very advanced looking. I love the little animation where Max Holloway is facing off with Alexander Volkanovski when you go to the online section. I just love the entire look of the thing. The colors, it looks upgraded. It definitely, the artistic direction here is beautiful. Not just that, the graphics for the game has been upgraded. I know graphics is not the most important thing in the world, but I have to mention it in regards to presentation. The graphics have been upgraded significantly, in my opinion. I think the character models look way, way, way better than they did in UFC 5 and other EA games. not just in the likeness of the face, but also in the body, which has always been a negative for these games, right? The face kind of will look good, but then the body is typically just generic. They just grab a regular muscle body and put it on the fighter that's supposed to have muscle, and you'll see the same bodies repeat over throughout the fighters. But that's not the case in UFC 6. Not only are the faces way more realistic, but the bodies, they've also improved that when you look at the fighter, their body proportions are right. The only one that I really think they messed up is Dricus du Plessis. He kind of has this tiny torso, short arms, short legs thing going, and du Plessis does not look like that, so I'm really hoping they can fix that. But overall, the graphics, the fighter likeness, the hair, all of that has been improved. Not just that, the bleeding, the bruises, the cuts, significantly improved. The game is way more gritty, right? It's way more mature feeling. And they've also added like bruises to the arms when you get kicked, bruises to the shoulders, bruises to the legs, to the body, and all this stuff. All of that adds with immersion. Like, they're really not hiding the blood and the guts and the gore. I really appreciate that. I love the unique art direction with the colors. When you play the game, you will notice that it has this bluish tint to it. And if you guys have been watching my videos, my UFC 5 videos recently, you'll notice that it had that same hue. And the reason why I did that is I just wanted to see if people would like it, right? Like, the first time I saw that this is the art direction they were going to go was actually in UFC 5, in the UFC 5 trailer. If you watch the UFC 5 trailer, it has that same hue. And it told me, I think EA is going in this direction. And right away, I started testing my videos with that blue tint. And a lot of you guys said that you really like it, which was kind of encouraging, and told me that if UFC 6 were to drop with that kind of bluish tint, a lot of you guys will like it. So it's one of those things that you either love it or you hate it. I personally, I like it. I think it's different. I think it's new. It's dark. It's cinematic. You know what I mean? And that's not really something you really see with a lot of these games. So I personally really like that. In regards to also presentation, they've added this thing that I really like to online. I think it's called EA Connect. Essentially, with a click of a button, when you press R3, it shows you every single opponent that you faced. You can, from that same page, you can either friend request them, or I guess you can block them. I'm like, what? Is this from Xbox or something? I'm so confused, but I liked it. I like that you can see exactly who you fought. They can send you a friend request literally from right there. There's just way more information on your opponent, and I like that. I really like that. So that's really it in terms of the positives that I see for presentation as well as packaging. Also, the online infrastructure right now is very smooth. I don't know if they've prioritized making sure that we don't run into laggy matches, because I did not run into a single laggy match in over 50 matches, which to me is a little bit weird, because usually I expect that. But it's been really smooth playing online. So major props to them for that. Now let's talk about gameplay, right? Gameplay, this is where the game shines for me. We already talked about grappling, so I'm not going to rehash that. Let's talk about what is new. Fighter uniqueness. Oh my goodness, man. For as long as I've had a YouTube channel and I've been talking about UFC games, fighter uniqueness has been single-handedly the most important thing to me, period. Nothing matters more than that to me. If that is different for you, that's perfectly okay. We don't have to like the same things. We don't have to prioritize the same things. For me, there is nothing I consider more important than picking up a fighter and the fighter moves like they do in real life. You give me that in your game and you give me responsive controls, I'm sold. I am not hard to please when it comes to that, okay? And when it comes to UFC 6, the fighter uniqueness is off the charts. They gave us Alex Pereira to test. They gave us Dricus du Plessis. They gave us Robert Whittaker. You have Khamzat Chimaev. And you have Michael Venom Page in there. Every single fighter I mentioned all feel distinctly different when you play them. And that did not used to be a thing with EA. These guys barely share any animations. The head movement animations are different. The punch animations are different. The way to move around the cage is different. Kicks are different. The impact of the shots, the play style is different. And plus, flow state, with the way flow state works, the more you fight like the fighter, the more your flow state is going to fill up. So if you're using Alex Pereira and you're kicking the legs and you're boxing like he does and you're moving like he does, you're going to literally notice your flow state shooting up way, way, way faster. If you take Alex and you want to grapple and you want to clinch and you want to do all this stuff, your flow state is not going to shoot up as fast. So it has a lot of things that really encourages you to want to try to use the fighter the way they fight in real life. If you pick Michael Venom Page and you try to sit there and go blow for blow with Alex Pereira, you're going to get your head blown up. He is too powerful in this game. He is too powerful. You have to move, and the game gives you all the tools in the world to really fight on the outside right now. I've actually been having an easier time beating people with Michael Venom Page than I have with Alex Pereira. Like right now, you know, moving forward and trying to pick your shots against someone that's retreating and playing on the outside really well, it's really tough. Like, I've had situations where I was getting, like, beat up, bro. Like, trying to enter the pocket, kick the legs, and I'm getting peppered. Like, pop, pop, pop. And Alex Power always tends to save me because, like, I'll time a slip really, really well, blast him with the left hand, immediately turn on my flow state, and I know they're going to, like, panic, either run or try to, like, discourage my perceived aggression with their own aggression, which then leaves them open to an easy left hook and they just die. It's the strategy openings right now are so good. I'm having so much fun with it. So they feel different. And then you pick Dricus Du Plessis, bro, and you can really fight like a crazy banshee with Du Plessis. His animations are freaking crazy. They're wild. Like, when you start throwing combos, if I'm using Dricus and I'm throwing combos, I'm like, dude, I don't even know where my own punches are. How? Like, dude, Du Plessis, I'm going to spend some time with Du Plessis, hands down. And then with Robert Whittaker, with his Philly shell, his punch animations, the way he moves, oh my goodness, man. They all feel distinctly different. Hamzat Chimaev, really good boxing. Again, unique punch animations. And of course, you can grapple very well with him. I'm blown away at the level of uniqueness that EA has accomplished. When I knew they were doing that, I thought it was going to be just, you know, oh, they're going to give us a few unique punches. But man, they went all out. And we've only just seen a few fighters, you know. They told us how many distinctly unique fighters we'll get at launch. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that right now, but it's a big number. It's a big number. So, you know, if this is something that is important to you, if it's a selling point for you, I want to pick this fighter and he feels different from this other fighter, then this is the game for you. Period. It's the game for you. If you enjoyed the way combinations flowed in UFC 2, and you enjoy some of the visceral knockouts you see in UFC 2, not as comical. Like, I haven't seen someone get KO'd and they fly off the cage, right? Or they do a backflip because they got knocked out. But some of the, like, just the brutal drops that happen when you rock and knock out someone, it's reminiscent of UFC 2. The way the combinations flow, really, really smooth and fast. Reminiscent of UFC 2 as well. So if you enjoy the way it played, you're going to enjoy the way this one played. And of course, we talked about how they've cut some frames to make head movement feel significantly smoother. Lunges are smoother. Footwork is smoother. You're still going to notice the game a little bit. You will notice it. Like, man, like, it's like the feet is not really connecting as well. But overall, everything just feels so much smoother. And that is how the game feels to me right now. Like, I've played this game now for a long time, and that did not used to be the case. You know, usually I'm able to stomach a little bit, you know, get on, play a little bit, get off, but I have not been able to put down UFC 6, and that is a testament to what they've done to the aspects of the game that I care about, okay? So that's really it for this beta. There really isn't much else to talk about besides that. I would definitely suggest before you play, grab a friend, get in, test out the new strike controls. Like leg kick and the body kicks have changed right now. Some of the spin strikes, the side kicks to the body, all that stuff, they've changed. Grab a friend, get in, familiarize yourself with the new controls. It's really going to help you. And also keep in mind that like this is really not a game that you're going to get into right away and immediately find success. It's quite dangerous right now. Counters are hitting extremely hard. If you time head movement and you blast your opponent with a counter, it does a ton of damage. I've got so many flash KOs already in UFC 6. It's crazy. So you can find yourself on the receiving end of that. If you think you can just come in and just swing wild like you were before, that's not the case. You're going to have to pick your shots a little bit more to make this thing actually work for you, and just give it a little bit of time. Give it time to breathe, to get into it. All right, so that's really it. We talked about negatives, we talked about positives. Overall, I would rate the beta, I would say it's a solid 7. I'd say it's a 7. It's slightly above average. It's not a perfect game, it's not an exceptional game, but it is way better than the narrative is claiming. And I'm not going to argue with you guys on that anymore. I'm just not. If you played it or you saw it and it genuinely looks exactly like UFC 5 to you and plays exactly like UFC 5 to you, or maybe it's even worse, maybe it's the worst game you've ever played, don't buy it. I don't know. I'm actually pleading with you. Do not buy it. Take your money that you worked hard for. Keep your money in your pocket. There are a bunch of other games that's coming out very soon. Spend your money on those games. Literally ignore, pretend it doesn't even exist. Don't spend your money on it if you don't like it. Because it's going to be kind of weird, right? If you don't like it and you go buy it, right? So that's all I'm saying, you know? So, and this is, I'm not saying it as a, well, if you don't like it, don't buy it. I'm just, that's me being genuine. Me genuinely trying to give you advice. Like, just don't buy it, bro. Like, don't piss yourself off. If you don't like it, just don't. All right, just don't. So that's gonna do it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I really hope you guys have been enjoying the playthrough. Definitely feel free to give me your thoughts in the comment section below. I don't delete comments. I say whatever you want. Feel free to say whatever you want in my comment section. Give me your brutally honest thoughts. I always love to see it. And you guys know, I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to debate. I'm just going to acknowledge what you said, and I'm going to move on. That's going to be that. So thanks again. You guys rock. I love you, boys. I cannot wait to get back and play some more. And I can't wait for this thing to finally release. Because, man, I can't wait to do the story mode, the career mode, get on rank. You know, really start testing out these fighters, getting good at them. I cannot freaking wait. So thanks again. You guys rock. See you later. Peace out. Have a good one.